Finishing Sefer Yehoshua. And we're going to start Sefer Shoftim tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. And we're up to Perek Chav Gimel, Perek Chav Daled, the 23rd and 24th chapter of Sefer Yehoshua. Yehoshua leads the Jewish people for 28 years. He finally passes away at the age of 110. We explained last time why he lost 10 years of his life. But at the end of the day, he leaves off with a warning. Just like Moshe Rabbeinu in Sefer Dvarim, he gives them a warning that they have to be careful not to give in to the Yitzaharas of Eretz Israel, which is Avoda Zara. That they have to make sure that their children study Torah and they don't fall into the trap of following the ways of the Goyim around them. He implores them in this chapter to get rid of the last few Goyim living in Eretz Canaan, and he told them not to fear to fight them. Hashem was with them till now. He will be with them. And he was very concerned because there's many Chazals that say that in Eretz Israel the Yitzhahara is very much stronger. Meaning, if you want to equate it to today, there's no Yitzhahara like for Avoda Zara so much today. The Gemara in Sechet Yuma says that the Chazal actually weakened it very much. Many Hasidic masters want to say that the Yitzhahara for Avoda Zara today is in the form of money, and money chasing, and the pleasure of having a lot of money, and that causes a person might to go against the Torah, Chas Shalom, and think that that's the source of blessing and happiness of life, as opposed to Hashem, Chas Shalom. But in Eretz Israel, even more so, there's more of a Yitzhara for Avodah Zarah because of the nature of the holiness of Eretz Israel. But on top of that, because there's so many people serving Avodah Zarah there, because of the Goyim who live there. But today, till this day, it's harder to make parnasa in Eretz Israel. That's true. It's possible. It's just the person needs to have a lot more emunah, and if you don't, you could fall and Chas Shalom, resort to doing bad things and acquiring your money through sins in Eretz Israel, even more so because of the Yitzhahara there. And stam, it's something that's attached to the land. The zelu mazeh, according to the holiness, is the impurity. The higher you go spiritually, the lower you can fall spiritually. So therefore, Yehoshua made it a big deal to go out of the way to remind them that you have to, even if you don't feel motivated, even if you don't feel like it's the right thing to do, even though you don't feel that God can provide for you, and you think you need to do Avodah Zarah to get Shefa in your life. No, you have to remember your commitment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and He made them do a brit, another covenant, a promise, their pact to Hashem in Shechem, and made everyone stand in front of the Aron and promise to serve Hashem and never to leave Him. So therefore, that was the last message Yehoshua gave to the Jewish people, and till this day, we struggle with fighting the desire to do what the money says as opposed to what Hashem says. A person has a classic test: should I go pray mincha right now? It's very early, mincha, and people are at work. Oh, should I leave? There's a customer who just walked in. How can I pray mincha? Listen, work is more important. No, Hashem is more important. It's a test we have to go through. Person has to, come home for Shabbat early, close the store early. Person has to, in many situations we could steal and nobody will know, and we have to adhere to the Torah and be honest and realize that Hashem sees everything we do. And these are all forms of Yitzhahara that plague us today, but in the times of Chazal, used to be really serving Avodah Zarah. They really wanted to go bow down to idols, and they thought that that's the way to get the bracha tzlacha. You have to remember also, in the times of Chazal, there was a lot of judigai, there was a lot of sorcery. Egypt was a source of sorcery, and people used to accomplish a lot of things through black magic. So people were very into, so very spiritual and heebie-jeebie things. So idol worship spoke to them a lot. It was a way to get blessing through doing these rituals, and we have to realize that the mitzvot are their source of blessing, and not to forget that Hashem may test us, and we should not fall. Interesting. They bury Yehoshua after the age of 110, and in the Gemara Sechet Shabbat says that he was buried in Har Gaash. Now in Har Gaash, the Gemara Midrash says that we don't know where this place is. Where is this place called Har Gaash? Rather, the Midrash says that it's a hint. It's a hint. Gaash means a lot of noise, to bustle around. It means that it's hinting that the Jewish people did not eulogize Yehoshua properly, because they continued to be business as usual. They were bustling around when he died. And the Gemara Sechet Shabbat says it's the one who's lazy in eulogizing a chacham is worthy of being buried in his own lifetime. Which means if you don't value the Chacham to speak about him and to give him the proper honor after he passes away, that's a sign that that there's a contempt for the Torah, there's a disrespect for the Torah, Chas Shalom. But by Yehoshua, the people sadly did not appreciate him. That's usually how it is. The people who do great things, it's very easy to pick on them, very easy to speak bad about them, and Chas Shalom, they to the point where they didn't eulogize him properly, didn't give him proper honor. Nonetheless, they do remember the miracles that he did, and because the Yehoshua stopped the sun and the moon in their place, they engraved on his grave the picture of the sun standing still to remember the miracles that Yehoshua did. But they were still blamed for not mentioning Yehoshua's real greatness. And finally, Yosef's bones are buried in Shechem. Before he died, Yosef made his brothers promise that he'll take him out of Egypt and bury him in Israel. And Yosef loved Eretz Israel. So now, what did he do? So he said, bury me in Israel. So now, he was zocheh that his levaya was the biggest levaya, 600,000 men carrying his bones all the way to Eretz Israel. But he was buried in Shechem. Very interesting. Why was he buried in Shechem? The sages tell us, Masechet Sotah, is because he was sold as a slave in Shechem, and to Shechem he was returned. So therefore his children were given Shechem as a portion of the merit of their father, buried amongst them will always be with them. So part of tribe of Menashe and Ephraim is they got the city of Shechem, which really Yaakov Avinu got from Hamor. Now the Midrash says that Yosef asked his brothers to bury him in Shechem. Why did he want to be buried in Shechem? To teach us a lesson, the sages say. That what? That usually a person doesn't want to go back to a place where something bad happened to him, right? Yosef got sold. He had a trauma happen in Shechem. And usually you want to avoid it. But Yosef understood that this was all from Shamayim. And this was the beginning of a very big part of the history of the Jewish people. So Yosef, opposite, he didn't look at it as bad. He looked at it as, this is all from Shamayim. This was the beginning of something greater. And it all started here. Even though it started in a weird way, but it started here. So therefore, Yosef said, I want to be buried in the very place where I was sold to show, A, I have no grudge. B, I realize it's all from Hashem. This is all for the Tovah. It was all for the good. And the sages say that's a big lesson for us. A lot of people, let's say, God forbid, a person almost drowned. So now he could become scared of water. Right? A person got traumatized, lost his money in business, so therefore I should never do business again. So Yosef's teaching us, no. You have to go back to that place and you have to try again. And you have to realize that Hashem was teaching us something. And Hashem was making us go through something greater through this that we suffered a little bit. And we have to embrace it. We have to not run away from it. Don't throw things under the carpet. Embrace it and realize that it's a kol tovah. Baruch Amen.